Good afternoon, Adam here at Board at Home. In this week's Jumping Let's Play, we'll take a look at Lanterns the Harvest Festival. This is a tile laying game where we're using these tiles to collect these cards here, and these cards in turn to score points on these tokens here. So we'll just explain the setup and then we'll go through the first few rounds of play for you. So starting up, we've got our starting tile. This can be differentiated by the rest by a different colour back, so you'll always find it, but it's also the only one with a boat on it. The orientation matters, depending on whether it's a 2, 3 or 4 player game. You want one side to point to each of the players. We're just doing a 2-player game, so we've got our tile set up so it's one side each. From this, we will then be given a lantern card matching our starting tile. So we've got a red and they have got a black. So we'll just put those off to one side. Here are our tiles. I'll just give you a couple of examples here. So you've got some that just look like this or a variation of, and again some that look like this or a variation of. If you see any kind of symbols like these ones, this one here for example, these allow us to take these favour tokens. These are useful if we need to change a colour card, change one of the lantern cards so that we're able to score points. When we lay these, if we lay them so it matches colours to tiles around us, we get that tile, that lantern card. If we lay it and it's got one of these aforementioned symbols on, that is when we get these tokens. We then get another lantern card once we've placed our tile, depending on which way we were facing. So if we did play this, for example, in the first instance we would get a red lantern card because we've matched there, and we would get a favour token there as well. We would then look to see the orientation. We've got red facing us, so we would take another one, and then they've got red facing them from the tile we've just placed, so they would take one, for example. So that's the tiles. Over here, as we've already mentioned, are our lantern cards. These are what we use to collect sets in order to score points. So we'll be looking for a variety of different things, such as pairs, 4 of a kind, or 1 of each. And that is exactly what we have here on our different scoring dedication tokens. So the red ones always want 4 of a kind, the blue ones want any 3 pairs, and the green ones want you to collect 1 of each colour. For the turn itself, we have 3 possible actions that we can take. On the first turn, we will only be doing the last one, but on subsequent turns, we have the option to exchange, so we can change 2 favour tokens to exchange 1 lantern card for another, or we can dedicate, where we pay our lantern cards to meet the requisite costs for these different tiles here. Just to give you an idea as well, on the player card it does give us a rundown of exactly what the dedication types are. The first 2 are optional actions for you to take, so if you can't exchange or you can't dedicate, you don't have to, but you always have to play a tile. One final thing with the tile is just to make you aware, when you're placing it, they don't have to match here. So here, if I just bring that a little bit closer, you can see we've got red and we've got the purple ones here. Why would this be useful? Well, sometimes you might be wanting to set up for something later in the game, or you're after a specific colour within the lanterns so that you can score points further on. Right, okay, so we'll go through the first few turns now, show you an idea. Hopefully we get some dedication tokens as well, get an idea for the scoring. So, first turn, we have only the place tile, so we will just place 1 tile. We will go for that. We're going to place that in this orientation here. So, as we mentioned, we're going to get 1 of these. We're also going to get ourselves 1 of these. If on our next turn any of these spaces are available and we had a tile that matched, we could put those down and get another favour token. Next up, we just make sure that everyone gets a lantern card based on the orientation here. So we get a black lantern card and our opponent there gets a red lantern card. We then draw a new tile and we pass over to the other player. So let's just bring their tiles over here for now. We will just leave them here, so it just makes it a bit easier for us. So let's have a look, see. Okay, they're going to play this one. So that one is going to be placed, they're going to place it here, actually. So what's going to happen here is that they're going to get their pink one. They're also then going to get 2 favour tokens because they've got 2 of these symbols here. That allows them to get 2 of those. We then go to the next phase where we get cards based on our orientation. They are getting an orange and we are getting a white card. There we go, they then draw another card, another tile rather, and it is back to our turn. So here is when we start looking to see if we can exchange or dedicate. At the moment we can't do either, we've only got 1 favour token, we need 2 to exchange. We've not quite got 4 of a kind or 3 pairs yet. So for us it will be simply a case of laying a tile. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to lay this one. So we're going to chuck ourselves in here. So we're going to get a nice little stash of stuff. So we're going to get a white card for this one. We're going to get an orange card for this one. We're then going to get a favour token because this matched. We'll get a favour token for this one as well. And then we get our cards for our orientation. So we get another white one here. And our opponent gets an orange one. We then draw a tile. And it is to the next player. So they're going to take a look through theirs. See what they've got. Okay, so they're going to play this one here. So they're going to gain their 2 favour tokens. 2 there. They're going to gain a white card. They're then going to gain a black card for their orientation. And we're going to gain a black card for our orientation. There we go. They then take their tile and back to us for our 3rd turn. So we'll just show you this because we're going to start doing some of these. So we've got exchange. So we can start exchanging these cards for different lantern cards by using 2 favour tokens. We're not going to do this one though because we're going to dedicate. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a pair of white lanterns, a pair of red lanterns and a pair of black lanterns. They will then go back to the resource pool. We are then going to take the top tile of the appropriate dedication counters. So we've got 9 points now, so we'll just set that off to one side. And it is then our turn to lay a tile. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay this one here. So we're going to get 2 tokens because we've got 2 matching gondolas or 2 gondolas on there. We then get our black, we get a red, there we go, and our opponent gets a red. Then we draw a tile. So our opponent's tiles, let's take a look at these ones here. So I think what we are going to do with these is Let's have a look, eh? What does he want? He wants a blue, so he's going to play that there. So he doesn't get anything at all because nothing matches on any of the sides, but he does get his blue, and we are getting a green one. Okay, and then he draws his tile, and back to us. So, what do we want to do? Let's say we go here, so we get our white, we get a favour token for that, and we get a blue card. You can see that one there. Our opponent gets a white card. On our next turn, just to show you, we'll start doing some exchanging. Okay, and back to our opponent. So these are his tiles. But what he is going to do is he is going to take two of these, 1, 2, and he is going to exchange. So he's going to exchange the white, and he's going to take a green. So now he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1 in each colour. So he is then going to take that time to dedicate. If we just take the one of each. There we go, those would go back to the pool, and he will take the top tile there. So he now has 10 points, and then he will lay down his tile. And it will keep going back and forth like that as we progress through the game. Once the stack is empty, we then total up our scores, and whoever has the highest value in these dedication tokens wins. As you can see, it's a fairly straightforward game. It revolves mostly around the tile placement, and then if you've been familiar with games such as Ticket to Ride, for example, you're collecting your sets of these cards to then help you score points. So similar to the routes in Ticket to Ride, see in this, instead of routes, we're exchanging these coloured cards for our dedication tokens instead. But as I said, it is a fairly straightforward game. Once you get into it, the setup is fairly quick, obviously depending on the amount of players within the game itself. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to comment below, visit us in store, or give us a call on 01843 316 281. If you enjoyed the look of the game, then pop down to the boardroom any day of the week. We are open late as well on Wednesdays for our board games club if you want to give this game a go. That's all for now, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the boardroom.